So, just typing. I've got me thinking. So, I'm off to London in 11 days from now, and I'm going to be carrying a secret weapon. It's not a truncheon or a knuckle duster or anything like that, a baseball bat. Some rosaries. I've got them in this bed somewhere, but I forgot. They're hid somewhere. I've been looking for them. I've got one on my hand as well. But yeah, I'm 11 days from now. I'm going on a Sunday actually. So, but Monday will be my first night that I'm going to do on the streets. My last night will be on a Sunday, although I might be there for a few nights after that, just to stay in a hotel and kind of get back that feeling of being in bed. Um, yeah, so I'm going to put a links up for anyone who would like to donate. When I'm down there, of course. I don't want to put it up now. I want you to all see me. I was going to say suffering then, but see me all kind of put out. And if you just want to even donate 50p or something, like I said, 7 nights, I'd like to think I can maybe raise £1,000. I've got my first one, Paul Venice Senior, his dad. He's donated £20, I think. A friend of mine, Barry's going to be doing 25. So yeah, it's if I could do maybe. I mean, listen, if I make bloody £50, it's still better than a kick in the balls, isn't it? But I'd like to think I can at least make £1,000 for the autistic school in Middlesbrough, the Discovery Academy. Yeah. So I'm going to be filming morning, noon, and night to show you all, and I'm going to be doing at least 100 videos that week. Michael Parr, aka Ross of Emmerdale, is going to be sleeping out with me. Alex Reid is going to be sleeping with me. He wishes. No, Alex is great, isn't he? So he's going to be doing a night with me. I think Alex is doing his night out. Sorry, he's doing his donations to the Bob Reid Foundation. And I'm not sure about Michael Parr, but credit to them. They're going to be on the streets with me for one night. Yeah, I've just been doing a little bit of research on Brian Clough. And it's a book. I thought, do you know what? I mean, what a character he was, wasn't he? Do you know what? I just sat and thought, and one could never draw a line under Brian Clough. I don't think I could ever not talk about him. So I've got a lot of people to speak to next year. Lots of footballers. I was talking to Lee Clark. Alan Thompson's got some cracking Brian Clough stories. And I've got a few people's numbers like Steve Stone, who was there with him at Forest and all these. But essentially, I want this book to be Middlesbrough. So I think there's been 10 or 11 Brian Clough's books I'm aware of, but none have ever been from a Middlesbrough angle. So the clue's in the name, Middlesbrough Zone. So that's, I want this book to kind of be, we know all about what he did at Nottingham Forest, what he did about Derby. Yes, he's the greatest manager England never had, probably because they couldn't control him, but it started in Middlesbrough. So he was, the statues of him in Nottingham, but there's one in Middlesbrough as well in Albert Park. So that's where Middlesbrough kind of made him, if you like. In my opinion, he's the greatest guy Middlesbrough's ever produced. I can't think of any. Chris Rea, maybe him and Chris Rea. Yeah, that's a good 50-50. Although there's a lot of interesting characters from Middlesbrough. Everyone's aware on this page of the Lee Duffy one connection. But of course, there's Bob Mortimer, Chris Kamara, Chubby Brown, Amelia Lilly, Journey South, Don Revie. Don Revie was from Middlesbrough. Pauline from Wendy Richards from EastEnders. Pauline. Paul Daniels, he was from South Bank. Stewie Downing, Jonathan Woodgate, Cornelius Carr, the British champion. Uh, do you know? I do a lot of research, and there's I could think of dozens of people when this video stops. Captain Cook, but he emigrated to New Zealand time before the Palmo, and then even before he moved over there, he moved to 88 Marland Road in Whitechapel. So I've never really understood Middlesbrough's views on naming hospitals after him, because he pissed off as soon as he could. But yeah, Brian Clough, what a character. What he used to do, I was reading it this morning, he used to put a towel in the Nottingham Forest dressing room, and he put a football on it. And if anyone, you can imagine all these young lads, I mean, my wife tells me off almost daily. It's me or my son. My son has footballs in his house, and I'll tell my son off. But when I'm walking past, I'll start doing kick-ups like I'm 8-year-old in a Celtic kit again. And the wife said, well, you behave, and you're telling him off. But anyway, so the psychology of Mr. Clough was, he'd have this ball in the Nottingham Forest changing room on a towel, and anyone who touched it or kicked it would be fined. Now, you could imagine 20, 25 young lads all full of testosterone and energy and full of all footballers. How hard is that to not kick that ball? So that was the kind of straight discipline he would instill in them. What a character. I don't mind admitting now, I am absolutely obsessed with Brian Clough in the way I was with Paul Sykes. Do you know what? One of the comments I read only the other week, actually, someone having a go and saying, oh, do you reckon Jamie Boyle wears Paul Sykes pyjamas? Now, it's my job. This is my job. I'm sat here now typing Nick Manners' book about Mickey Duff. Last year, I mean, I'm obsessed about Celtic anyway, but last year I was obsessed with Alan Thompson. And it's gone. It's been and gone, and it's done. And I thanked him, and I text him a few times a week and that, but ultimately it's done. So now I'm going to become obsessed with other, and the reason is because I'm an addict. Anything in life I get addicted to. I gave up drinking years ago, and I got addicted to Briffic 55. I could get addicted to Blue Smarties, so I choose to get addicted to work. And the clue's in the name. I'm a writer, so I write about subjects. Because I'm not that interesting yet. You know, I'm years away from ever writing a book about me, because if I'd done a book about me, people would laugh and they'd think, who the fuck do you think you are, you? But when I've done 100 books, or at least 50 books, I will do one about addictions and all these kind of things. But yeah, with the job I've got, I get to meet and thoroughly investigate some really interesting people in life, some fabulous characters that I would never have had the chance to meet. Or it's been a bit difficult with COVID, but now I'm back and working 7 days a week. And you know, I was in Rotherham last week with former world champion Junior the Hitter Witter. I'm in Whitechapel next week, meeting lots of different people. The actor Michael Parr, Ross and Emmerdale, Alex Reid, lots of Jack the Ripper experts, a few people I can't really name because I don't want me naming them. I'll probably meet Martin O'Neill again for a cup of tea. So I'm going to be busy with Sean Atwood filming, Gary Hutton, Whitechapel expert. So yeah, with this job I'd kind of fell into, become addicted and obsessed with Paul Sykes 10 years ago. It's led to a career. So next year, when I'm doing Brian Clough's book, just trying to think, there's Junior Witter, there's Nick Manners, there's Michael Showers, there's another Hartlepool, but one or two more Hartlepool. But over the years, you're going to see me getting more involved with footballers and boxers and celebrities, and I'll become obsessed with them. And when this work's finished, then I'll move on and I'll become obsessed with someone else, because I'm an addict. But in Trainspotting it says, instead of taking drugs, choose life, choose a television, choose a car, just become addicted to something else. And that's what I do. And at the minute, all my addictive personality behaviour is positive one, and it helps provide for my family. So yeah, my only addictions in life these days are good. They don't harm me, so it's harmless really. But yeah, Brian Clough, what a character! I'm really, really looking forward to doing his book. I've got to rein myself in sometimes because I think, oh fucking hell, I want to do it now. I want to just sit up and studying him, and I can visage. What's that word? Envisage. Can't pronounce it. You know what I mean? How big that will be. Because as I said, there has been a lot of Brian Clough books, but there's never been a Middlesbrough own book. So he was Middlesbrough's own before he was the world's. If he was around today, you wouldn't be talking about Jose Mourinho or Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp. If we could go back to 40 odd years ago when he was winning the European Cup back to back, I might say, when he was taking Derby from the old division to Division 1, and then he won the league with Nottingham Forest. Never quite won the FA Cup, won a few League Cups. The documentary was called I Believe in Miracles, and that's real Roy of the Rovers stuff. What he done in football was, and it doesn't surprise me that he was voted by ESPN the third greatest manager of all time. I'm not sure who was number one, probably been Alex Ferguson. But yeah, back in 35 years ago, Cloughie was the number one. Even the other big bosses like Fergie and Ron Atkinson, they all knew Mr. Clough was number one. It's amazing, really, to think he was never given an England job, but of course, the FA could never have controlled him. He was. You saw what he was like in 1989 when the fans, I think it was 89, 1990, Nottingham Forest fans invaded the pitch, and instead of the stewards, who Cloughie ran on the pitch and punched 5 fans, dragged them off. You could imagine that now would be, but Brian Clough did it his way. He was a little bit mad. He was eccentric. Martin O'Neill said to me, he said he was the most charismatic. He said he was a film star. He was a celebrity, like before celebrities. Do you know what I mean? Had an aura about him, and quite possibly the most charismatic manager to ever. There'll never be another Brian Clough. And some of the books I've done in Middlesbrough, I think, do you know what? If there's anyone from that area who deserves a book, it's Brian Clough. That rhymed, that, didn't it? Didn't even mean it to rhyme. Can't even remember what I said. I'll have to watch it back. But yeah, listen, so I'm off to London in 11 days. This beard's coming on. This hair's coming on. Lots of, as I said, I'm going to do at least 100 videos, and I'm going to be off the leash. The wife's not going to be there going, behave you, don't drink that. Do you think, don't put that on, Jamie. Don't be doing that. Can you calm down? Do you know what? It's like being married to a toddler. That's what I get all day off her. So I'm just going to be like on my own, so I can just get up to all sorts. But you know what? It is for a good cause. And yeah, I don't mind a bit of stupidness. And as I said, I think I said the other day, I have to rein myself in when I'm on here, because the wife says to me all the time, Jamie, if you want to do, some of the people I spoke with in the last couple of years, Stan Collymore, Martin O'Neill, John Hart, like some big, kind of people, and Shirley's like, no one's going to employ you to write their book if you behave like a teenager. So that's why I have to kind of be a bit boring. One or two said the other week, oh, you need to lighten up. I do. Anyone in my circle knows I'm as stupid as can be, but I have to put this act on now and again. But as I said, I won't have any wife near me, and the only thing you can do in bleak circumstances is to find great humour in it. And I'm living homeless for 7 nights. 7 nights. I watched the James English documentary he done in 7 nights in Glasgow last year, and I was like, oh man, how could you do that? And I thought, I'm doing it, but I'm doing it in a city which is I think Glasgow's the third biggest. There's Birmingham bigger, and of course London's the biggest. So I don't really know a great deal of people. I know a few people over the years from boxing circuits and book world, and um, but I don't really know anyone. So I'm going to be literally living in a foreign city with a rucksack and a cool beard and yeah, that'll be. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun because I'm going to make it fun. But as I said, I'd like to think I can raise at least £1,000 for a great cause. So keep an eye out on this channel because I am going to start putting links out as soon as I'm there. And I thank you so much to anyone who wants to even donate so much as 50p. It's all going to 100. If you donate 50p, 45 won't be going to 50p. Will be going to a good cause. I'm paying for myself to get there. I'm paying for myself to get back. I'm paying for myself. I'm not begging. I'm paying for myself to eat for a full week. So it is actually costing me money, but it's for a good cause, and it's going to be an experience. Plus, the Tees Valley Film Festival have invited me on the back of it, and plus the BBC Tees are going to be covering it. And I get to meet a lot of interesting, different people. I might get to meet a few people who are doing it for real, you know, and that's not a laughing matter. So it'd be interesting to see how they're. It's okay for me to laugh, and I know a few people have said, "Oh, you shouldn't be laughing and joking about it," but I'm doing it for a week, and then I can, you know, go back to life where these people have been doing it for. I never understand it, you know, because if that was me, this sounds really terrible, but I'd probably rather put myself in prison. You know, I've been in lots of different prisons, and I know, and it surely life is better in there. I haven't slept rough yet, but you know, you get 3 meals a day in there, and it's quite a stress considering you live among a lot of scumbags in there. You've only really got one problem, is getting out. You've got no problems with rent or food or the dress you can shower every day and all this, and you know, so yeah, I never quite understand how these people live on the streets, and but you know, you find with most of them, they were like me and you once, and there were only ever one huge episode in their life away. We all are from being on the street. The wife divorces me, someone's mum dying, someone's child dying, and you go on drugs, and you know, you see these people, and they weren't just born like that. Do you know, I'm 42 now, but I remember being 21 and thinking someone my age was ancient. I remember thinking, like, old people were born old. And it's only when you get a bit older and mature and grown up, and you start to realise the effects of life, and you think, you know, that life can be brilliant, but it can be bloody awful at times. I've had it lucky. I'm 42, and you know, but I know people who've lost children and mums and dads and siblings, and you just never get over it, would you? So there's always a reason behind someone's situation. When I was young, I never really thought like that. Where now and I think that's why I like the underdog in life. I like to understand people's behaviour. What made Paul Sykes the way he did? Obviously, he was damaged as an abused child. What made Lee Duffy the way he did? What made Dominic Negus? Some of the people, Roy Shaw. But I am getting away from the true crime. I've got one more in me, which is the Michael Showers book. That's going to be out this winter. And then, you know, I just like meeting different interesting people. But I am going to try and stick to the football, to the boxing, or even maybe just people like Alex Reid, who I kind of like and like his energy. Anyone who has a good story, basically. But yeah, listen, London's on in 11 days. Brian Clough book is on next year. And yeah, lots to do. And don't forget to give this video a like if you like my silly nonsense drabbling on for 20 minutes. Anyone who wants a civil, amicable chat, feel free to give me a message. Jamie Boyle 10 Twitter is probably the best way, but if you ask me any questions, I promise I'll do my best to. I'm on this now because the other lads used to be on it before. I've become a little bit hardened to YouTube now. I just read comments and laugh. Do you know what I mean? In fact, I just block. I haven't even got time to respond. So if you want to be a little bit insulting, at least give it from an educated point of view, and I'll answer you. But the ones where they're like, "Oh, you fat lesbian," "Oh, you're a cart." No, I'm not. Not a cart in the whatever. Stop believing bullshit. But yeah, I'll happily speak to anyone. Thanks for your time, guys. I've got to go back and do some typing now. So I'm going to be busy for the next 6 hours. Have a great day.